So, good evening, everyone. Those who may be coming in. I'm Dr. Michelle Boulden Hammond. I am here with the final week 5 Magnolia Mondays. I know I said at 8:45. I'm a little bit running behind tonight. I just want to share tonight the past weeks that we have talked about. I hope that you have gone back and reflected on these past 5 weeks. But tonight I'm going to actually give you something from one of my newest books that I've had that's called Zephrina's Moons, Mantras, and Moonlight. And you'll understand it, but just want to give you a little reflection on this Magnolia Monday. So, just to recap, in week 1, we talked about serenity and stillness. Week 2, we talked about joyful vibrations. Week 3 was healing harmony. Week 4 was clarity and intuition. And this week, we are going to sum it up and wrap it up with the self-care compass. Because everything that I've gave you is some tools to use, some different frequencies, some different lessons on how we can just create that welcoming and peace space for us. So I just want to carry on with week 5, which is going to be a self-care compass. And I'm going to give you something that another tool that you can just use for tonight. And hopefully you can go back and recap these because you can actually get them on my YouTube page as well. So the self-care compass, which is going to take in 8 perspectives. Tonight, you have 8 perspectives, and they're going to come from your spiritual, your intellectual, your social, physical, emotional, and again, your environmental. So there are realms in self-care in all of those, right? Because I'm all about the self-care. So let's start with the emotional. So with your emotional, some self-care, awareness, expression, and regulation. If anybody caught from last night, my co-authors for the Resonate Healing Voices, one of the authors talked about the nervous system. So when the nervous system is all out of whack, it actually can wreak havoc on everything in your body. So what are you doing for your emotional self-care? So 1, awareness, expression, and regulating. So awareness, journal how your moods go up and down. You actually can get apps for that. Mood, body scans. You can notice different signs in there. If you got tension in your neck, back aches, headaches, different things of those are simple because again, you carry a lot of stuff here in your shoulders. So some expressions, how to release those things. We have a pillow here. Art therapy, painting, journaling, scream into a pillow, or dance it out. That's one of the newer things that I'm working on, to have dancing classes for expression and different types of music to do certain alternative moves for your mind and for release. So regulation, we talked about breathing. Are you breathing correctly? Are you breathing right? Are you breathing? When we breathe, it actually calms, lowers our blood pressure, lowers our heart rates. So box breathing. Hold in for 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Release out for 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Repeat the cycle. Repeat the cycle. The next we have our environmental. What's in your environment that's decluttering you from creating that calming and surrounding space. Declutter. Start to declutter things. Add plants. Plants, as you can see tonight, scenery. I have plants. Plants, add that. They give life. Nature. A lot of people think this is off, but bathing in the nature, meaning go out and walk in nature and just listen at what's going around in your surroundings. Or you can take time to start out a herb garden inside, which will be good. Creating a calming surroundings, engaging with the outdoors, and making it sustainable, honoring your ecological balance. We keep our space, we keep our nature in good standings that also can regulate and help us as well. Next, we have the spiritual self-care. Now, again, by all means, this is not telling nobody what to do or how to do it, but these are just some regimens that you can use. Again, I tell people I work on stuff behind the science to produce the healing mechanisms that's used. Spiritual, meaning reflect on your personal values and journal them. Create vision boards. That is for your long-term purpose, but you also can do short goal purposes ones. Presence, what I've been giving you for these past 5 weeks, mindful reflection, mindful activities, tea drinking, in which I have tonight. Nothing like a glass or a mug of warm tea before you go to bed that can actually focus on the aroma, focus on the warmth of it. Take a walking meditation. Transcendence type of things for your spiritual self-care. Stargaze and reflect on just your surroundings, your being. A lot of times, if you notice, you can follow me and see, I love watching the moon. I love watching the stars at night. Actually, tonight I have some in this ambiance in the room that I'm in. And again, practice loving and kindness meditations, in which I will give you one before we leave. So again, we have talked about the environmental self-care, spiritual self-care, and now we move into your intellectual self-care. What do I mean by that? Well, what I mean is your intellectual, what are you listening to? Like right now, you're listening to a podcast of me giving you a topic. For 5 weeks, I've done a topic based upon different modalities to help you in calm, help you to create a nice creating space for you. Again, take some free courses. Just learned yesterday that Harvard's offering a lot of free courses. Actually, one of them was a happiness class that I took maybe like 6 years ago. That's being offered again in your well-being, happiness in your well-being. Great, very great class. Problem solving, brainstorm solutions with a mind map. If anybody wants to know about that, we're going to do a workshop later on in the beginning of the year on mind mapping. Mind mapping is a very good activity to do. Brainstorm solutions with that. Play strategy games. People talk about chess. Those are strategy games because it actually will keep you abreast. So 1, in your intellectual, there's curiosity. You're going to learn, you're going to explore. Those are the truths that you can find. Creativity, expressing your ideas and your imagination. And problem solving, it helps you to navigate through challenges. So here we go with social. Hey, Ashira, thank you for joining us. Thank you for joining me tonight. Yeah, this is the last week, but I'm actually going to be announcing something during maybe later on this week about I'll probably do once a month because they had got a lot of good feedback. Thank you for joining in. Social self-care. We have connection, Boundaries and community. Woo, those are, let's call that the CBC. Ooh, that's a swing to it. CBC, connection, boundaries, and community. One with connection. Schedule a weekly no phone and a coffee date with yourself. I know that might sound strange, but maybe just block out an hour or two. See the difference. Tell me how that be. Write a gratitude letter to a friend. Or how about write a gratitude letter to yourself and mail it to yourself in the next following year and see how you've grown from that. Boundaries, set those boundaries. There's nothing wrong with setting boundaries, because when you set the boundaries, you know what you're doing? You're protecting your energy and your time. And I know God knows we have a lot to do on our agendas, but once we set up those boundaries, that actually can help us protecting our energy and our time on wasteful stuff, because time is of the essence now. And practice saying, I need time to think. I need time to think. There's nothing wrong with taking out time to think, because again, there's a lot of motor chatter up here. So how do we tune that off, right? Now that is community. Join a book club. One thing I can say at my job, they have a book club that everyone takes something to read. If you choose to do this, now you don't have to do this, but that, or just create a new hobby. Join a book club or a hobby or a group. One thing also is to volunteer. Volunteer at some type of mutual aid organizations. I can tell you that a lot of organizations right now will need to be going to help out those food banks, because they're going to be overloaded and going to need to help, especially on the giveaway days, especially. So far, let's recap. We have done environmental, we have done emotional self-care, we've done spiritual self-care, and now we're going to do the physical. So that's why my part in where I came in, where I was telling you about the vagal nerve, how when you get yourself all in risty and a hussy and a fit, how you need to rotate and do these certain things, right? So physical self-care, what we do about when it's physical, of course, nutrition, movement, and the greatest is rest. I think last night that was one of my other practitioners, co-authors in the book, talked about how important is it to rest. Well, what does rest mean to you? That's the question I asked tonight. What does rest mean to you? So, nutrition, fueling the body mindfully. Mindfully. What are you feeding? What are you eating? But what's eating you? Movement, strengthening and energizing. What are you doing? Are you moving around? Again, we talked about the movement dance. As again, November the 15th, I'm having some stretchologists come in. And those guys are very good getting those emotions, because people don't understand all the tightness, all our emotions are stored in our cells, right? So that stuff needs to be released out. And rest, replenishing through sleep and relaxation. Again, what have you been doing these couple of weeks? I've gave you the tips, I've gave you some solutions, and I gave you some modalities. All right, so those are some frequency sounds that I brought in for calm. That right there was a 432 hertz. That's what that was. That is a calming solution. So again, as I said earlier, it's nothing wrong with taking out a few things. So as we leave, I'm like, got a few more minutes, but I want to share. Let's go over recap again. Week 1 was serenity and stillness with the affirmation, I am grounded in peace. Stillness is my strength. Week 2 was joyful vibrations, awakened joy, and then lighthearted energy. Joy flows through me. I choose to shine brightly. Week 3 was healing harmony, emotional release, and soulful renewal. I release what no longer serves me, and I welcome harmony. Last week was attuning your inner wisdom. My mind is clear, and my intuition guides me with ease. And tonight we're talking about the self-care compass. I gave you all the tools, and it all synced into one for these last 5 weeks. But I want to share with you here my character, Zephrina, right? So how is Zephrina composed to all of this from tonight? So this is my latest adult cartoon book. It is the creative publication of a fictional character, which her name is Zephrina, who is a female, and this might can relate to males too, that feel that you need to escape the world and find solace. So in these past 5 weeks of Magnolia Mondays, I've gave you some tools for you to find solace. So let's take a look in Zephrina's world and see the transformative power of letting your inner child bring you peace in your mind, your body, and your soul. This is the very first book of mine of a cartoon, correct? But there's something in there that I want to go over, a calm tea exercise tonight. As you can see, this is a calm tea exercise that I'm going to read to you tonight. And this is how we're going to close this week 5 exercise. All right. So how we do this to have a calm tea exercise. So step 1 would be you set the space. Remember, that's talking about that environmental self-care, right? You light a candle, you sit comfortable. You have your water boiled, and mindfully you breathe deeply as you prepare your herbs or whatever you're going to use. I use hibiscus sometimes. I use several. Lemon balm. I use several. And that's something else you can get from me as well. I have my own herbal tea blends. You place your herbal blend in a cup and pour slowly. As you are pouring your tea, you sip slowly. You speak the affirmation, and this will go in how we end tonight. If you're in a space right now that is peaceful, that you find solace, I ask you to come along with me with that. So here we go. I am centered. I am at peace. Let's say that again. I am centered. I am at peace. Now, as you just close your eyes with gratitude, and when you finish, close your eyes. Thank your Creator that it flows through your body, it flows through your spirit, and that it'll flow through your mind. and deeply embrace in your soul. I am centered. I am peace. All right. This is the last presence of Magnolia Mondays. We will be looking forward to having monthly segments. There is also a project that I'll be working on that I'm looking for some people to adjust and come along this journey with me. So again, I appreciate and I thank you all. And if this has helped you, inbox me. Let me know. I love to hear people talk about it and share if any of this helped you along the way. So again, I'm Dr. Michelle Boulden Hammond, and I thank you for tuning in for these last 5 weeks. And I hope my prayer is that these have helped you in your healing for your mind, your body, and the soul. So I am well. I am well in body. I am well in spirit. I am well in mind. And I am well in soul. Until next time, have a great week on purpose.